Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Mike LaMarche, and I saw a trucking video. I've been in the trucking industry for an extremely long time, and I come across this video here, and I'm going to pull it up for you because I think, and as a matter of fact, I want you to look at me as an observer. I mean, if you go into the video like this, I want you to look at me as an observer of a guy that's been driving a truck a long time, since 1997. And I'm going to go into this video. And the title to this video is Warning, Very Controversial Trucking Interview. Do not watch if you're a sensitive truck driver. Well, I am by far not a fucking sensitive person. All right. So I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell you all the truth, starting with, with the title of this video. And I like to think because this video would not be posted if it wasn't for Mother Trucker, the official truck driver site down here. All right. I don't care how many people watch this video. This is just me observing a video, putting my face on camera, and making myself vulnerable. And all that does is make me a little bit stronger, maybe. But who cares about me? I'm the least important person in the world to everybody else. But I'm the most important person in the world to me. Now, by the end of this video, you're going to see shit through a whole different perspective because I'm going to be pointing stuff out as an observer. And by the end of the video, you'll know whether or not I've driven a truck or not, whether or not I'm lying about the trucking industry. Because I lied my way into this bitch, and the truth got me out of it. So, without further ado, and here's another thing. I'm going to go through all the comments on this video too, because I think the interview has a good idea behind it. That's just my opinion. But I've got to tell you that what you're about to watch, and whenever you comment on my video, I'm going to open the comments up. All right. I'm not going, YouTube's got an option. YouTube has an option to where I can delete negative comments or I can review those comments. And I'm going to keep that off. I'm going to keep that completely off because I want to see both sides of the story. And just from my initial observation of this video, I don't care that the guy has 515,000 subscribers. I think that's awesome. I think that's cool. All right. I don't care that I only have 24 subscribers. All right. I don't care. The whole object here is this video a controversial video. Well, just the name makes people want to click on it. So great job on selecting the title. But as an observation, I go through all these comments, and there's 459 comments on this video. None of them are negative. So as an observer and someone who's been doing YouTube, I've been doing YouTube on and off for a long time. You can go check out a page called Heart of Slander. I was doing videos a long time ago, and the way I thought then versus the way I think now has completely changed. But as an observer in life and an observer of just being around all this stuff for many years, I can see in this video right here that all the negative comments have been deleted. They're not being able to be seen. You're only seeing one side of the conversation. And, some people who are sensitive, this is a great channel for you, apparently. Because maybe just think about it. If you're only getting to see what you want to hear, isn't that what the world's doing to you to begin with? So maybe you're just seeing what you want to hear. On my page, you're going to be able to see everything. And for some people, that's not going to be the best thing. It may be the best thing. I do think that you learn a lot more whenever you're exposed to a bunch of fire and a bunch of people whose opinions are different than yours. As a matter of fact, I think that's what makes everything a little bit better. But that's just an opinion. Fuck my opinion. There's people out there that say fuck my opinion all the time. I don't care because that's their right to do that. So, but I am going to observe and I want to point out some things. So, the title's good. We've already did, and once again, this video that I'm making right now would not happen without Mother Trucker. So I've got to appreciate Mother Trucker for actually putting this video out. And this gentleman over here in the Hurley hat, wearing glasses on a cloudy day, doing the interview and talking about his career in the trucking, because it's pretty close. I think he started in 2004, according to the interview, and I started in 97. So he was there before the in the old hours of service rules, I believe, too, or maybe not. I know I was back whenever we could split up an 8-hour break any way we wanted it before the new hours of service rules kicked in with the 11-14 bullshit. Anyway, like I said, you'll know by the end of this video as to whether or not I drove or not. And I'm going to go in. I'm going to stop this video. It's 12 minutes and 35 seconds long. And I want to stop the video at different points just for an observer. And if you can look at it from my point as an observer, you can start to dissect things, and you might actually be able to come up with a picture as to what may be wrong with the trucking industry. Now, I've been in the trucking industry for an extremely long time, and this seems like the same problems over and over. And then my father drove for many times. Who cares about my dad? My dad's dead. He died in 2012. But he drove from 1958 all the way until like 2008. All right. So, and then what I did. But like I said, by the end of this video, I want you to be able to just see the observation. I know I'm taking a long time right here because I'm going to start out with, you got to think outside the box. We've got to think outside of you. You got to think outside of being a truck driver. You've got to think outside of the company you're working for. You've got to think outside of the town you live in. You've got to think outside of the county your town resides in. You've got to think outside of the state. You've got to think outside of the country. You've got to think outside of the continent. You've got to think outside of the solar system. You've got to think outside the galaxy, and you've got to think outside the universe. And that imaginary spot that there's not a word for, you've got to learn how to speak and think from outside of what you don't know exist. Now, without further ado, let me get this video started here. And like I said, I'm going to stop this a lot. This is going to be much longer than 12 minutes. But let's go.
What's going on, Mother Truckers? I'm out here at the 595 in South Florida just hanging out. I see a fellow Mother Trucker. We're just...
So the first observation that I'm making is he said he's in South Florida. So I immediately start looking at the video. So, oh, okay, there's palm trees in the background. So yeah, South Florida probably seems about right. It's a cloudy day, and a gentleman's wearing glasses. I've been to Florida a few times. Sometimes it's cloudy, sometimes the sun's shining out bright, and then a big old thunderstorm hits in right afterwards.
hanging out, talking trucking, man. How long you been trucking?
I've had my CDL since 04. Finally hit the oil field about 2014.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So how was that oil field money back in the day?
Dude, it was great. You could fall backwards into 10 grand.
Okay, the first interview question was, how was that oil field money back in the day?
Are you serious?
Oh, that's what my bank account showed, just working all the time.
Oh my gosh. So here's the thing. Back then when I saw that in 2014 and stuff, everybody had lifted trucks. They had nice stuff. Now
Now, when he saw that back in 2014, from his observation, this is the interviewer asking the question, he saw a bunch of lifted trucks. All right. So he saw a bunch of lifted trucks, and
Did you think that was going to last forever, or did you save some of that money? I mean,
so we call this redirecting. He's directing a question into an answer that maybe he wants. So I've got to see how controversial this is. I mean, we're 39 seconds into it, and I don't see any controversy yet. But like I said, I'm looking at this as an observer. I'm not cutting down the video. I want you to look at it as an observer as well, and just tell me what you really see. It may be the first time you've watched this video. It may be the second time, you know, and there's a lot going on in everything you see. So let's continue.
Nah, my brother fell off a roof, so I gave him a bunch of money. And then I came home and started a lawn care business because I met a real nice girl and still been with her.
Oh,
still
yeah?
to this day, yeah.
I was going to say,
Now, this gentleman right here that's talking about that he came home and he started a lawn care business and he uh, was having a real nice day. That's really close to the same thing I did. When I got out of the trucking industry, I started a vending machine company and got into the lawn care business. So we're relatable in that area.
was hoping that would end up with a good love story.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
You know?
Well, not all love stories are great, but it is nice to have one.
So, going from oil money back to this trucking market that we are in now, my friend. You know, what type of trucking are you doing now?
Just over the road.
Over the road?
Yeah, dry van.
You know, love it, hate it. What's going on, brother?
We got the best office view, but other than that, that don't pay the bills.
Navan's business
And right now we've got to watch an ad, so we're just going to go through 4 seconds of this ad. I may go in and actually edit the ad, but I'll just skip it like we all do.
travel platform, it completely ruined my life. You see, I've been in the great
And
Yeah.
this definitely ain't paying the bills right now.
You know, and why do you think that is in trucking right now? Why is everybody struggling? Why was it so good in 2014?
Okay, now some people would look at this guy and he says definitely not paying the bills right now. As an observer and being on YouTube for as long as I have, they're going to look at this guy smoking a cigarette, and some people are going to say, well, maybe that's why he can't pay his bills because he's got a bad habit. You know, I smoke. That's not it. All right, uh, that that's not it. Just telling you.
And why does it suck down?
Democrats.
All right, he's blaming Democrats. Some drivers blame Republicans. As an observer, and I'm not talking about a. I'm not observing. I'm observing the whole thing. But we're talking about groups here. We're talking about truckers, and we've got Democrats. So remember that. Truckers and Democrats are a group. They're a group of people.
Hey, speak your truth.
Yeah.
Okay? We're going to speak the truth. Now, if we don't know what the truth really is, then we're going to speak from things that we perceive to be true, which a lot of times groups can easily project that onto anybody. And it doesn't matter if you're a truck driver or not, they can project that onto you.
Yeah. Dude, things were going great when Trump was in office. All right.
Okay, here we go again, speaking about Trump. All right, Trump sent everybody a $1,200 check. Man, I tell you what, that's going to make you talk positive about him. But it's not Trump. It's not Trump. It's not the Democrats. It's not, well, I don't know. As an observer, we'll get to that at the end of the video.
Right. And in a short little 6 months, I'd made 40 grand. Your bang for your buck went a lot further.
Yeah.
We flew to Vegas, got married.
Okay, I got to play that one more time.
In a short little 6 months, I'd made 40 grand. Your bang for your buck went a lot further.
Yeah.
We flew to Vegas, got
Okay, I would say that just about anybody who could make 40 grand in 6 months, you could fly to Vegas. You could do some You could do some stuff, and people might even criticize him for going to Vegas and spending the money. But hell, people do what they're going to do. As an observer, though, 6 months, 40 grand, so that's about 80 grand a year. And I think he's talking about being in the oil field here. I'm pretty sure.
Married, were there for a week, had a great time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And if anybody's ever been to Vegas for a week, well, not anybody. I've been to Vegas just for a day and had a good time. So being able to stay there for a week like him, I'm sure that's a good time. If you've never been to Las Vegas, it's a place to definitely go see. Preferably not in a truck. I was delivering some sort of mattresses or something out there. Let's continue on as an observer. See, even me trying to go into this as an observer, I'm looking at it. I'm trying to look at it, excuse me, through a truck driver's point of view, and also observing it in a bigger picture. Stay with me, people. I know it sounds boring. Stay with me. By the end of this, my goal isn't, well, my goal is going to be very controversial. And it's something that you're going to have to fight. But whenever I'm talking about, what I'm talking about here, it it can blow your mind, but you really got to pay attention. You really got to pay attention to to my observations. Maybe I shouldn't smoke as much neither. I wouldn't be coughing up all this shit. All right. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to try to let it play a little bit so we can be done before we start collecting our Social Security checks.
Off of that small amount of money. Now, you can't get out of the grocery store without it being almost $100
Man,
for
have you
like
noticed?
yeah.
Now, this is caused by inflation. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but if you study inflation, if you print more money, and remember, when Trump was in office, he was doing really well. But we printed a lot of money. $1,200 times how many people are in the United States. I used to have those numbers. I don't have them right now, and I couldn't give you a true number unless I was to look it up. But that's a lot of money. And that diluted the buying power of America. So this is inflation. And when you dilute the buying power of America, everything goes up. Everything goes up. So, yes, inflation has been happening ever since money was invented, ever since we went off the gold standard. So, that's some knowledge and just an observation. I'm not saying this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, but that's just common knowledge to people that have that knowledge. If you don't have that knowledge, then maybe you just learned it just now.
You notice for $100 you got 4 items in your
Exactly. I was gonna say, not 80, 90. I've got a little bit of beef jerky, a little bit of nuts, and out the door.
My gosh.
Yep.
Well, I could tell you if you're buying beef jerky, I like beef jerky. That shit's expensive, and it doesn't take very long to hit $100 at $15-20 a bag. For the large bags at a Love's truck stop. Love's got those containers, those clear long. I used to eat that beef jerky like hell. I'd just go in there. I think it's spending 19 or 29 bucks for one of those. So yeah, you could buy 4 things of beef jerky and it could be 90 to 100 bucks. That is absolutely true what he's talking about.
Yep.
I'll tell you this. I'm making less money right now than I've ever made.
Yeah.
And so,
You and me both.
you think we're ready for a change?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And we got to go through another one of these damn commercials again.
Upgrade to Google Fiber and pay one simple bill every month.
What about
Another observation I make. So 515,000 subscribers. He's had, I don't know how many views this video's had. It's had 18,000 views in 2 days. It's had $18,000, and every time an ad goes through, Mother Trucker is making a little bit of cash. He might be making 0.2 of 1 cent or something like that. But Mother Trucker, like I said, appreciate you putting the video out, man, and you got every right to make every dime you're making and the 515,000 subscribers you got. My God, that's awesome. Keep it up. Keep doing the things you're doing. Let me get through this ad right here.
Extra fees like installation.
Taken care of.
Okay, we'll just skip that.
No. Some people think that. Now, what I hear is some people think that, oh, the president of the United States doesn't control those type of things. You think that's true, or you think this guy's just a puppet?
Well, what it is BlackRock and California wanted to do business with BlackRock, but they said, you want to bring your business in, you're going to push all these social agendas, but you're going to do it.
You're going to push social agendas. That's something that got me. I don't even know what the hell BlackRock is, so I'm going to leave that as a future observation, I guess.
Nationwide.
No, they took that AB5, the independent contractor rule.
But they said, you want to bring your business in, you're going to push all these social agendas, but you're going to do it nationwide.
No,
Okay, let's talk about that for just a second, because like I said at the beginning of this video, I've looked through all these comments here. I've looked through the top comments, and I do not see any really negative comments on this whole video. Now, there's an agenda here to produce this interview as one of the greatest interviews of all time. But I've been doing YouTube long enough, and I've spoken with enough people in my lifetime long enough to know that you can't get two truck drivers to agree on anything. So what I'm seeing down here is just one side of this story. The other comments are being blocked, and any YouTuber that owns a YouTube page doesn't have to let negative comments in if they don't want. So that's what I'm seeing here. And to me, as an observer, that is another type of social agenda.
they took that AB5, the independent contractor rule, destroying a lot of lease operators there.
Yep.
Now, I know there's some bad actors where there were some companies where, they need to be shut down because they're treating truckers badly, but not everybody was done.
Okay, so here's something about trucking companies treating truckers badly. They all do. All right. That's just an observation, and I've worked for some of the biggest trucking companies in the United States. Conway, XBO, Saya. It's not the trucking company. There's more of a management issue, and that's just an observation from my career. And I've found out that no matter where I went, I was always going to run into that one asshole. That one asshole that I wasn't going to be able to get along with. That one asshole that was just going to sit there and is just going to piss you off to no end. And it wasn't until later in my trucking company when I realized, but this has been going on for a long time. Let's just back up just a little bit and listen to that one more time.
I know there's some bad actors where there were some companies where, they need to be shut down because they're treating truckers badly, but not everybody was unhappy with being a contractor.
Not everybody was unhappy. I was a private contractor myself, and as a private contractor, one of the reasons why I didn't let it bother me was because I didn't give a fuck about them. And see, this is the stuff that's controversial. This is the reason why also this page is much bigger than I am, because, it's a social issue. People don't like to hear the shit that I've got to say, but it's the truth. And I appreciate Mother Trucker for, like I said, this video wouldn't exist on the dark side of YouTube if Mother Trucker didn't make this video. So I've got to hand it to that. But he's interviewing, and what I see is, it's not an interview toward the driver that's right across the road. It's also the interviewer interjecting their own thoughts into the matter, which is perfectly fine. I think it's cool. It sounds like he's a much younger truck driver than the gentleman he's talking to here. If he's a truck driver at all, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a lot of buddies that were happy.
Yeah, no, I was doing all right. I was hauling mail out in California.
Ooh, let's talk about that because recently I know the union with the mail, right?
Yeah.
They
Okay, so I want you to remember that we've talked about the Democrats, and you just heard him speaking about the union. And I want you to, if you got a pad and paper, write this down, because by the end of this video, you're going to be very, very shocked at what my observations are on the trucking industry. So we've got Democrats, we've got Trump, which let's just say that's Republicans, and then we've got union. All right, and I want you to write group right next to that. These are groups of people. All right.
they took all their mail freight back.
Yeah.
So all those big businesses in California that
Yep.
were hauling mail,
Yeah.
they gave them the.
Yeah, 10 roads, laid off a whole bunch of people.
Were you one of them or no?
I mean, I was a subcontractor, but I'd got out the door before. I went back to Texas before that happened.
Yeah.
And went back to running with my buddy, who I'm running with now.
Man, California, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
They do.
All right, as you talk about California, every truck driver has stories about California, including going down Cajon or over there on Needles, going into Rancho Cucamonga, going into LA, going into San Diego, maybe crossing Tehachapi and dropping down into San Francisco, going to Concord, California, maybe all the way up north toward Redding or Yuma, and picking up fruit, canned fruit, and different vegetables that go to different places. Man, I tell you what, if you've been a driver for a length of time and you drove over the road, you will have yourself a story about California. I guarantee it. But let me get back into this observation mode here and pay attention to this interview.
Do like everything in the, and it's sad because I was born in California, but I moved to Florida. But it's just sad how much California just hates hardworking people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I've heard this a lot about California hating hardworking people. And let's remember what I said at the beginning. California is a state. Let's look at that state as though a group of people.
I really don't get it.
California, it's really gotten wild. I've never been treated worse than, or like looked at weirder than by females in California.
Really?
Yeah, I've you know.
You got nice long hair though, brother. Come on now.
Right? No, it's just people make a big old circle around you,
Right.
and like, I'm standing there wearing $200 boots, $100 jeans, and they're still acting like, is this dude gonna mug me?
That's crazy.
Or I'm standing there going to, just looking at a product,
Right.
and some woman pushes her cart up, you're in my way, and it's like, hey man,
Okay, so I've really got to observe this one more time, because there was a lot of shit that just was said right there in a small period of time. So let me go back, and this is key. This is just an observation. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this gentleman, I don't think. I think that he truly believes what he's talking about. And but I've got to listen to it again, and then I'm going to give an observation, just an observation.
mug me.
That's crazy.
Or
Oh, he's talking about mug me there. Let me go back a little further.
You got nice long hair though, brother. Come on now.
right?
So I know that he was talking about people in California looking at him weird, and there's a lot of weird people in California. So yeah, but I found that everywhere in the country. Everywhere, they're going to look at you kind of weird.
No, it's just people make a big old circle around you,
Right.
and like, I'm standing there wearing $200 boots, $100 jeans, and they're still acting like, is this dude gonna mug me?
Okay, so we go back in the day when he was talking about the $40,000. Now it's starting to make sense. Not the cigarettes or anything like that, but apparently he likes to look good. He likes to spend a lot of money on clothes, $200 boots, $200 jeans, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want $200 boots and $200 jeans, by fuck, you should wear them. But uh, that's not, and I have a hard time believing that people are actually going around in circles admiring $200 jeans and $200 boots. But this could be a feeling. This could be a feeling someone has. And I think what he's trying to project here is more of a feeling of what it feels like to be in California. Because I'm telling you, he's right on the idea. It's just fucking weird for me to be there. I got family that live out there, but it's fucking a weird state.
That's crazy.
Or I'm standing there going to, just looking at a product,
Right.
and some woman pushes her cart up. You're in my way. And it's like, hey, man, I was born in Florida and I was raised in South Texas, and nobody talks to each other that way down.
Well, you're right. Nobody talks that way because if they did, they'd get their ass kicked. So maybe that's a sensitive. I mean, we're getting back down here to the title now. Very controversial trucking interview. Do not watch if you're sensitive. Well, I think that everybody has their own levels of sensitivity, you know, because hey, and what I would do, that there's that old story of that cop that pulled over. Uh, let me get in here real quick because a lot of you have seen me doing this interview, and a lot of people. So there's an old story about a cop who pulled over. Uh, let's just say it's a truck driver, and he's got his co-driver with him. And the cop pulls him over and asks for his license, registration, and logbook and all that. The guy gives it to him, and the police officer pulls himself up on the side of the truck, and he hands him his license back, and he slugs this guy in the face. He just slugs him in the face. And he's like, "What the hell did you do that for?" He said, "That's because you were speeding, and you deserve it." All right. Now take this as a theoretical piece of comedy. All right. It's theoretical. It probably is documented somewhere that this story has actually taken place because people are people and there's enough of us. All this shit can actually happen. So the rest of the story goes he walks over to the other side of this truck and he jumps up on the side, knocks on the window. The co-driver, sitting over there in the passenger seat, rolls his window down and the cop smashes him in the face. And the co-driver's like, "I wasn't speeding." I said, "I'm just sitting over here in the passenger seat. Why did you hit me?" And he says, and this joke is out there, trust me. But he says, "That's so you don't get 5 miles down the road and say, 'I wish that son of a bitch would have hit me like that.'" So when we're talking about this guy in California and stuff like that, people in Texas don't do that because there's probably a more likelihood that if you ran a cart into a Texan or an Oklahoman or an Alabaman or a Mississippian, and shit, you go all the way up north to New York, you push a fucking shopping cart into somebody and it's a 50-50 split all the way across the country. Hell, you could do this in California and meet the wrong motherfucker and you push a shopping cart, they're not going to say shit. They're just going to fucking lay you out. All right. So his observation is true. I mean, he might be sensitive. And he might not be the type of guy that likes to invert violence on somebody. But I know where he's coming from when he's talking like that. So let me go back to the video here. I got to switch you over here so that the video comes back up. And we will go here and we'll continue playing.
Down there?
Yeah, the respect has changed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Especially, what are your thoughts about the trucker respect, man? I remember when we wanted that toilet paper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, we're your heroes until.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, honestly, dude, yeah, the trucker respect. Bro, I've had my license since 04.
Mm-hmm.
I just had my first incident last night.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about trucker respect and stuff like that. I've been in the industry most of my life. 2019 was the last time I drove. But during my 22 years of driving, I never got any real respect until I became a truck driver instructor. And that's whenever I got more respect in the trucking industry. And then I went to work for a company called Southeastern, which you might have heard of, and they drive Southeast, and good company to work for. Don't have any qualms with that, but it still had its issues with the people who managed it. You know, the top managers. You know, people say the top management is all right. The truth is, I don't know who the hell the top managers are. I knew who the bottom managers were, and I uh, saw some chaos there. But this guy's talking about trucking respect, and that's the only time I ever got it. Man, I wasn't driving during the COVID time, and I'm sure that some COVID. I know that some of my students called me up saying that they couldn't take showers or anything like that at different truck stops when it first really kicked off, and it was kind of a nightmare out there. And you know, truck drivers were these essential workers uh, out delivering toilet paper, and you know that wouldn't have ever happened, of course. You know, if people weren't being people. But let's continue on.
What happened?
Indian driver,
Uh-huh.
doesn't speak English.
Oh no.
He's in the slow lane. I'm doing 70 in the left lane because I see there's slower stuff going on the right.
Okay, let's stop right there for just a second. And if you've got a piece of paper, and if you, and I recommend you watch this entire video because I'm about to show you some shit that you might not have ever thought of. But take your piece of paper, and he just said Indian driver, and I want you to write Indian driver down. Just write it down along with the other groups that I've mentioned, and we'll get back to it.
Right lane.
Yeah.
This dude probably cuts out in front of me 55, is on his brakes and clips me, and I almost left wheel went off road just trying to mitigate the damage, hold it as straight as I can.
Did he at least stop?
No,
He
I
kept on
had to chase him, call 911, get the troopers to flag him
and that's
down.
when you found out he didn't even speak English?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. It's like, I think one thing they get wrong, and this is to some people a touchy subject, but to me, I mean, it's just the truth. It's like, man, I truly believe you got to come here legally, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got to come here legally.
Yep.
And I talked to a lot of the Cubans, the Spanish out here in South Florida.
Yeah.
They're really against people.
Oh, what happened there?
I truly believe you got to.
All right, I think that the video was really sped up right there. I don't know why it was sped up, but I've got to dissect this a little bit further and observe what I just heard. Because, and I'll tell you what my observation of this little moment of this video is here in just a second.
Come here legally, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got to come here legally.
Yeah.
And
So, for one thing, I'm going to go back here and reverse this one more time.
His brakes and clips me, and I almost left wheel went off road just trying to mitigate the damage, hold it as straight as I can.
did he at least stop?
No,
He
I had to chase him.
Hey, I'm excited. He took his glasses off, so I just observed that, and I don't know how long ago it was that he took them off.
Call 911, get the troopers to flag him
and
down.
That's when you found out he didn't even speak English?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. It's like, I think one.
Okay, now I want you to pay attention. When I hit the play button, you're going to hear an amazing statement. It's a statement by the interviewer himself.
One thing they get wrong, and this is to some people a touchy subject, but to me, I mean, it's just the truth. It's like,
Okay, to some people it's a touchy subject, but I think he said to him, it's just the truth.
To flag him
and
down.
That's when you found out he didn't even speak English?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. It's like, I think one thing they get wrong, and this is to some people a touchy subject, but to me, I mean, it's just the truth. It's like, man, I truly believe you got to come here legally, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got to come here legally.
Yeah.
And I talked to a lot of the Cubans, the Spanish.
All right, truly come here legally. Well, you can truly believe that, but there's a lot of people that are going to come into this country illegally. And that's the truth. They're going to keep doing it. And it's just like anything that's controversial, it's going to keep happening. They tried to ban alcohol. It was called prohibition. The mafia took over and put it on the black market, and it came in anyway. You try to do the abortion thing where you ban abortion, women are still going to get abortions. So truly believing in something and what actually happens is two different things. You know, it's just it won't happen. It does not happen. You can truly believe in a ferret fucking a Goodyear tire. Well, that might actually happen. I don't know. But you can truly believe in a lot of stuff. And man, some people just aren't going to agree with that. And whenever I observe the world as a whole, you know, this has been a diverse country for a very long time. And you could go back and read the research of uh, different papers, you know, and no matter what paper you read, there's always a contradicting paper that would go against it, you know, and it's like the devil and the angel on your shoulder, or you know what you're telling yourself, you know, that little voice in your head, if you're thinking outside the box, you know, and those two voices that are constantly telling you, and what actually projects and verbally is emitted from your mouth comes from those two forms, the subconscious and the conscious mind. So let me go and because there's a part of the video I could have swore was sped up just a second ago. Let's see.
Out here in South Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, it's somewhere in here, I think.
Truly believe you got to come here legally, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got to come here legally.
Yeah.
And I talked to a lot of the Cubans, the Spanish out here in South Florida.
Yeah.
They're really against people.
Okay, so he just mentioned like 4 different groups. Cubans.
The Cubans, the Spanish out here in South Florida.
Yeah.
I can't catch that 100% of what he said. The Cubans, the Spanish.
Yeah.
And I talked to a lot of the Cubans, the Spanish out here in South Florida.
Yeah.
They actually.
Maybe he said South Pablo. I'm not 100% sure. So Cuban and Spanish, write that down in groups. All right, the groups that he talked about there.
They're really against people coming here illegally because they're like, man, I just put in all this work for my family to get here.
Yep.
And now I'm over here struggling.
Yep.
Man, it's tough right now.
Yeah, it really is. And they want to hand out thousands and thousands of dollars.
I heard about that.
Which is what Trump did. By the way. Handed out thousands and thousands of dollars.
That.
Yep.
You know, I interviewed my buddy Clarence yesterday, and he told me he's about ready to move to Mexico
And come back.
lose his citizenship.
Yep.
Come back, and then get the benefits.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can bet your ass Clarence won't do that.
Why won't they just give the benefits to the Americans, man?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's what they need to do, but, you know, I think it's their plan. They think these people are going.
Here's my observation of being an American citizen. I don't care. I was born here. That's where I was at. I don't really get into too many fights over what's going on here. And that's just an observation from me. But this could be the problem. This might be the problem. I don't know. I'm just an observer. I could care less, but this right here is just a fun thing because I like to observe and really try to get to the bottom of what's going on something I'm interested in. And I'm interested in this because it has something to do with something that played a large part in my life. But, you know, as far as what I'm talking about, it ain't going to change shit. You know, it's not going to change shit. And people like, God damn, you're just wasting your time. Yeah, I'm wasting my time, but this is what I do for fun. And I enjoy it. But I also, as an observer, I'm going to open up the comments on this video. And I want everybody to see, you know, I want everybody to see. I want people to see the truth. Well, maybe that's maybe that's actually something I want. And I need to keep telling myself I don't care because I don't care. I know what's coming. I know what's coming when I upload this video. And that's why I'm not too sensitive about it. I can't be sensitive about it. I've got to do it and put it out there and put it out there in a format that's not biased. But, you know, we're
to
getting the groups.
come and vote Democrat or whatever. But
Yeah, I don't
Okay, there we go. We just mentioned Democrat. Boom, you can write that down underneath groups.
know what the
I
heck they think.
but they're
When I
And
found
we got
Hostfinger
ourselves
and
another
I found
ad.
out about the website builder, I was really blown away. It made building the
a lot.
You know, I think I'm going to keep the ads on there just because, you know, Mother Trucker is making money off those ads. They're not going to make any money, but, you know, it can get the advertisers extra ads that, you know, maybe YouTube's not counting. I don't know if YouTube will block the ads or anything, but I want to play it in its entirety because just want to, and it'll help out maybe some other ad people. Just an observation.
A lot of them people are still have a rigid sense of family and whatnot, so they're not for all this pink and green haired nonsense.
It's
Okay, so what do we got here?
know what the heck they think.
But they're a lot of them people are still have a rigid sense of family and whatnot, so they're not for all this pink and green haired nonsense.
It's
I'm pretty sure that this truck driver's been in it for a while. He's probably holding back a little bit on the camera, and he was like, the pink, and you know, some people have the rigid family, and I think what he was trying to say there is some people really have a heart for their family, which you know, I'm pretty sure I can agree. If you got someone that's your wife and your kids, you probably have a certain sensitivity toward them, and they probably don't like people with green hair. And who gives a fuck about that? Is what I'm saying. Who cares if a person's got green hair or not? Who cares? You know, most of the time I see people with green hair or uh, gay people or they kind of stay in their own groups. It's when they start mingling, and that's just a little observation. I'm talking about gay people and I'm talking about groups, and we've been writing down groups. Just take that as a little hint of what's coming at the end of this video.
and it's sad because a lot of people can't even just speak the truth.
Yeah.
Like I get hated on a lot just for being an Asian American. Like I'm born in America, and I'm American first, and I'm proud to be Asian too. Shoot, I like eating my pho. I like Vietnamese food. I mean, you know, who doesn't love your own mom, right?
That's all we eat when I go home, dude.
I think that what he's talking about, he gets hated on a lot. I think that's true in America because that's the culture. Uh, the culture is it's divided. You know, there's multiple cultures in this country, and the thing is, he thinks he gets hated on a lot. I don't think he thinks. He knows he gets hated on a lot, but thinks sounds better than he knows. I mean, or maybe he doesn't know. But I'm telling you, he is telling the truth. I mean, the actual truth is, hey, there's an Asian in the country. He's hated on a lot because some people don't like Asians. Some people are racist. Some people aren't. So, yeah, I agree with that. I agree that that's true, but I don't think it was put out there as the truth. I think it was put out there in a way that was a little bit reserved, held back, maybe a little bit sensitive. Because the only way that you can be really, truly controversial is to say there's some fucking stupid people out here.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, that fun noodles, man.
Yeah, spring rolls.
Hey, now you're talking. But I think sometimes people look at me and they go, "This guy looks Asian. You know, what's he talking about?" And I'm like, America.
Okay, you think, all right? Uh, you shouldn't be thinking. You should know that. You should know that people are talking that way about you. And I think you honestly do know that people are talking about you, but why are you thinking it? What is that doing to better you? I mean, maybe Mother Trucker here is doing really well, but I'm just saying from an observation point of view when I'm watching this video that, I don't have to think people don't like me. I fucking know there's some people that don't like me. And I know that some people like me. And I also know I don't give a fuck what they think. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to some people.
America first, man, and people get very touchy about that. I mean, what's so touchy about saying that people should come here legally like everyone else?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there was a time when everyone.
See, I think that somebody, people do get touchy about this subject. And 15, 20 years ago, I was really touchy about it. And the more I live this old thing called life, the less touchy I get about it. But I don't think that the younger generation, I don't think the younger generation really gets that concept. And that's, like I said, let me get back here in just a second. I don't think a lot of younger generations gets the concept of being made fun of on a regular basis. Some of them are fucking weak. Some of them commit suicide. A lot of people do. And it doesn't matter if it's a younger generation. This happens in all generations. This happened since the beginning of humankind. But it is all relatable. It is all relatable in the different groups. Some people refers to some people over here, some people over there. So we're back to group. This group word I've mentioned a lot during this observation video, and I'm going to get back to the video now and get rid of this shit, whatever that is. Let's see here. Get rid of that. All right. So let me go back here.
Did come here when they came here, but hey, at one point we were all foreigners.
Yeah.
But when the rules are in place,
Yeah. We're putting in the work and we're living by the rules.
you know.
Okay, we're living by the rules. We're living by the rules. Putting in the work and living by the rules. Fuck the rules.
And man,
Everybody else should too.
I would say
No, everybody else shouldn't, bud. That's, we've got a lot of stuff. Everybody shouldn't follow the rules. All right? Fucking the biggest companies, the trucking company you work for, I guarantee you didn't follow the fucking rules to be the big trucking company they're at. I don't know who you work for, to be honest, but yeah, let's say the big companies, XBO, PAM, all JB Hunt, at one point, somewhere along the line, they did not follow the rules. They wouldn't be where they're at if they didn't. And the drivers that don't follow the rules, well, guess what? At a certain point, you just start paying for breaking the rules, which is what every driver does when they break the rules. They pay money to break the rules. Whenever you come over here illegally, you're breaking the rules. You're paying money to people to break the rules. It's a similar thing, just a different way of doing it, but it's the same. And it's not that, when I listen to this,
all foreigners.
Yeah.
But when the rules are in place,
Yeah.
fuck the rules. All right? Fuck the rules. Fuck the rules. Fuck the rules. I wouldn't have got into truck driving if I hadn't lied on every fucking application that I had, saying that I had my high school diploma and I was a ninth grade dropout. So sometimes, as an individual, in order to make it better for you and your family, that rigid family he was talking about, you've got to break the rules. So you can't follow the rules all the fucking time if you're going to make it, especially in America.
Yeah. We're putting in the work and we're living by the rules.
you know.
Guarantee you, we're not all putting in the work and we're not all living by the rules. That's the truth.
And man,
Everybody else should too.
I would say
Everybody else should too. Fuck you I'm not living by your fucking rules. I don't live my life. See, this is the controversial part. This is the controversial part that I don't see in any of the comments. However, if I met this guy out on the street or something like that, he'd probably have a friendly conversation until we started reaching these disagreements, which is something that truck drivers have done since the beginning of time. I think ever since Alexander Winton invented the first semi truck in 1898, probably these little disagreements have happened.
So, I mean, that's how I feel. And I'll probably get hate on this video. Here goes Alex again, talking about.
And we talk about feelings again. There we go with feelings. Feelings are a bunch of bullshit. You know, feelings are a bunch of bullshit.
Wanting people to be. And if you look at it, when you get your CDL, you're supposed to be legal anyways.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't understand what
Yeah,
the
if you
pushback
if
is.
you can't read the signs and
And it's a safety thing.
yeah, it is, and that's the I talked to that trooper last night, and he's like, "You've got to be the longest running clean record I've ever. No incidents, no
man.
accidents
So
from
it messed you up.
2004.
So what happens when
to-
they even hit you? It's still
an incident that I'm gonna have to report on. Possibly, I'm gonna have to report, but it was less than 3,000, so I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm basically a steering wheel monkey, man. But
You
might-
say that, but you're not, brother.
well, I might have a touch of the tism, so habitual rule follower. I don't like.
It's hard because
And
Okay, so he said touch of the tizzle. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I got to listen to it again, and maybe I can tell you.
from
messed you up.
2004.
So what happens when
to-
they even hit you? It's still
an incident that I'm gonna have to report on. Possibly, I'm gonna have to report, but it was less than 3,000, so I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm basically a steering wheel monkey, man.
Hey, man, when you say less than 3,000 and you say you don't know what that means and you're a steering wheel monkey, man, I don't know what the fuck you mean either. But let's continue.
But
You
might-
say that, but you're not, brother.
well, I might have a touch of the tism.
It's nice to see you say that, but you're not, brother. That's a little bit of positive motivation. It's one of those things that allows the interview to keep going. So that's a good little touch there. I like that.
So, habitual rule follower. I don't like.
It's hard because
And
we all
that's
follow the rules, but the only people that win are the ones that don't follow the rules.
yeah. It seems that way, but I can't live like that and then
I heard that.
and then think my wife is going to think the most of me.
Yeah, I understand. No, you got good morals, man. So at the end of it, I mean,
Morals. Ooh, boy. All right. Yep. That may lie. I mean, if the gentleman who's watching this, morals with rules imposed by these Democrats and these Republicans, and you need to follow those rules, the very people you say that are fucking up the planet and fucking up the trucking industry, these rules are made by those people. And you say that you're a habitual rule follower, well, maybe you're following the wrong fucking rules. And that's why the trucking industry's fucked up. That's just an observation from all the stuff that I've been watching in this video. And we still got a few more minutes to go, but there's your first PowerPoint. I want you to really, really think about that as a truck driver, as an interview, and as this video plays out with all these positive comments that say that this is I mean, if this was a truly controversial trucking interview, I'm going to see a bunch of negative comments about this, and I just don't see them. And I know that if I was to make a negative comment, it would get blocked. And that's the reason why this video is being made, because I want people to see the controversy that this video actually has, because I'm not a sensitive truck driver, and I'm sure that there's a lot of, well, I hope that there's still a lot of freaking old school truck drivers out there. This guy was trucking in the same time that I was. I was trucking just a few years before this guy. So, what I've gathered so far is everybody needs to follow the rules, but just 5 minutes ago we were talking about all the people that have made the trucking industry bad, which we're talking about Republicans and Democrats, which is the Congress and the Senate, which makes the laws that pass the laws for the trucking industry. And then he says he's a habitual rule follower and wonders why the trucking rules, wonder why the trucking industry is so fucked up and they don't make any more money anymore. That's why I'm saying that if you're going to make money and you're going to do it, sometimes you got to break the fucking rules as a truck driver and get out there and make the money. They're making it a hell of a lot harder though with all the electronic logs and shit that they got now compared to what they had back in the day. But, you know, that's just an observation from the top down and, you know, or from the bottom up. Maybe I'm coming from the bottom up, maybe some people are coming from the top down, but it's just an observation. And he answered his own question in the interview. And a lot of people can answer their own questions if they talk and they actually observe themselves and how they think, and they'll say, damn, I'm fucking up. Now, the observation that I see here isn't the idea that this guy's a bad truck driver or he's a bad person or anything like that. It's the idea that he might not see the bigger picture that I'm pointing out. If he does, fine. If he doesn't, fuck, I don't care. This is just fun for me. This is just fun for me. All I got to do is just look down and on this interview, and I can look down underneath this video and I can actually see the comments that are going to come in. They're not even in because I'm recording this video right now. I haven't posted it yet, but it's coming. It's coming. I promise you, it's coming. Oh, by the way, if you are watching this video right now, it has K.
Where's your journey with trucking these days? I mean, you gonna keep it up even though it kind of sucks right now for you?
I'm the type to bite down and hold on, push harder.
Oh man, I love to hear that.
Yeah, so
It's gonna get better.
I want you to pay attention. He's the type that bites down and hold on. And I was like that. I said that I was going to retire at the age of 40, and I did retire at the age of 40 from trucking. But you could, I'll post a link at the end of this video of why I lied to get into the trucking industry. And it's controversial for the people that it's reached. I mean, this video right here isn't going to reach nearly as many people as Mother Trucker, and the because because it really is controversial, and it's truly controversial. I don't even know what the hell title I'm going to put on it. Maybe I'm going to put rebuttal to Mother Trucker official truck video or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
It
It-
just takes some time.
it's got to.
There's,
Yeah.
I mean, there's, dude. If everybody keeps on losing the shirt, that we just not gonna have a country.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Oh, I really
Well-
appreciate this conversation, though.
Well,
Now let me interject the controversy. If let me just go back here and we'll listen to that one more time, because sometimes it's good to listen to shit multiple times so you can actually get the full picture, not just come up to an agreement, a surface agreement on something. But let me go back here just a little bit.
got to.
There's,
Yeah.
I mean, there's, dude. If everybody keeps on losing the shirt, that we just not gonna have a country.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Man, he just talks so fast. I've got to watch that, listen to that again, because that's an important part of the interview. But let me see what he said.
Better. It
It-
just takes some time.
It's got to.
There's,
Yeah.
I mean, there's, dude. If everybody keeps on losing the shirt, that we just not gonna have a country.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Oh, I really
Well-
appreciate this conversation.
Okay, I don't know exactly what he said. It sounds like if everybody keeps on losing the chicks, we're going to lose the country. We're all going to lose the country, bud. Eventually, time, we're all gone. Time, we're gone. And I'm talking about death. Yes, everybody is going to die eventually. But so that's my thought on losing the country, or losing the country. And that's another thing right there. Country. Write that down over there. If you are one of the people that are actually writing it down, write down the word country.
Conversation, though.
Well, that's all part of Biden taking China's money.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
there was a strong, very strong push.
Okay, now we're talking politics and we're talking about groups of people again. This is getting fucking redundant and boring. All right? And it's nothing to do. This is how we think. This is how people, the human species, think in this country. And uh, there's a lot fucking wrong with that, in my opinion. But in other people's opinion, they don't even know. They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. And this is stuff that was told to them. I don't know where he got his sources of information from. It probably came from XM radio or, the news or, uh, different ads and stuff that they've learned from other truckers. I don't know where they're getting their sources from, but it might play a small part. It could play a small part, but maybe this interviewer just didn't have the time because these questions are a hell of a lot deeper. They're a hell of a lot deeper in meaning than what's actually being said here.
Oh, I really
Well,
appreciate this conversation, though.
well, that's all part of Biden taking China's money.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I mean, there.
Okay, Biden's taking China's money. I can't agree with that because there's just so much more information that I don't want to stretch this video out extremely long, but I'm just going to call not necessarily bullshit on the driver who's speaking right here. I'm going to call bullshit on Biden's not causing this shit. Uh, Biden's well, he's the president. I don't even know what the fuck Biden's doing. I don't even understand what the fuck that guy says half the time. So taking China's money. Have you seen these sea containers that run on the back of semi trucks, trains, ships? All right, China's not taking just our money. We're giving money to China. China's giving money to us. It's called free trade. It's called free trade, and it's not free, but there's a lot of fucking money involved in the freight industry. And it's country. I mean, it's basically like you going up to Walmart and buying something, which actually came from China. But let's just say you go to a place like Ditch Witch out in Perry, Oklahoma, and buy an American-made machine. All right, you buy an American-made machine. You bought an American thing made in America. Well, good for fucking you. Good for you. All right. You go to Walmart, you buy any fucking thing that's sitting on the shelf, it probably comes from China. I'm buying from an American company, but import shit from China to make money. There's a lot more going on, and I'm fucking confusing the shit out of people. But some people get what the hell I'm talking about. But Biden taking money from China isn't causing this fucking issue. Uh, it's just not.
There was a strong, very strong push for, oh, like I talked to people, like look at the numbers, right? So there's like 660 million, I think. People Google that when you see it, right? But there's like 660 million cars out there, and only half of a percent of them are electric. So
Yeah.
why do we keep on talking about electric?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go into this shit. This is just going to be interesting. I'm going to let it play out, and I'll give a little piece of information.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean, infrastructure's not there, nothing's there,
Yeah.
and so it's just one of those things where it's just like,
Why didn't we put in the work in Afghanistan to get those minerals? We're
you
over
know
there
exactly
trying.
what that was about.
Yeah, we're trying to build y'all a country and whatnot. So, you know,
But sometimes
but it got overlooked, and now China's in there doing deals with the Taliban.
I'll tell you what, brother. I'll tell you what. This world's getting very interesting. And
Did you hear the word world? You heard the word world in there, didn't you? Write that down. That's another group. It's just a group. It's one in a group of planets. I'm drinking a Pepsi here. Let's get back started.
we definitely need a change because I'm still doing okay. But for a guy like me to just be doing okay, that's not good for a lot of people.
No.
So I don't know what you mean by that. A guy like you that's just doing okay is not good for a lot of people. I don't even know what the hell okay is with you. And a lot of people who are listening to this right now don't know what okay is to you versus what's okay to them. Some people might live in a $600 camper and be perfectly fucking fine with that. Some people may live in a $250,000 house and over their fucking head and mortgage payments and debt and 3 kids in fucking school. So I don't know. That's just a personal opinion that the interviewer has. So we'll move on.
No, it's not.
Because I'm a business owner and I got employees, so I need to be doing okay for them. And it's like, man.
Okay, let's take a look here, because one thing I haven't observed yet really is the body language. But the body language in the idea of a guy that says that I'm a business owner and how quickly this driver turned his head.
I like me to just be doing okay. That's not good for a lot of people.
No.
So I can see that the driver now is starting to get distracted. He's starting to get bored with this interview because he's looking off to the other side. And maybe it's the truck that's passing by, or maybe it's some woman walking down the street, or maybe it's someone walking by. But let's go back here again. So he's got eye contact with the camera right now.
Because, I'm still doing okay. But for a guy like me to just be doing okay, that's not good for a lot of people.
No, it's not.
Because I'm a business owner and I got employees, so I need to be doing okay for them. And it's like, man, it's just.
I can almost see the body language is like, what the fuck are you? I don't care that you're a business owner, man. I don't care that you got employees. I mean, I can almost see that in that driver's face. And he's like, what the hell is this going on over here?
Struggle, man. Everybody's just struggling right now. There's nobody winning right now. Anybody that's winning, I don't know how you're winning, but
No, I don't either.
Please let me know.
Some shady stuff on the side. I don't know,
No,
man.
I even talked to my buddies that have paid off trucks
Yeah.
and direct customers, and they're still kind of struggling with it.
Oh yeah.
So, no, this is a great conversation, man. At the end of the day, I mean, anything you want to leave people with?
Just love your family. That's all you can do, because that's still free.
Hope so.
Love your family. That's all that you can do because that's still free. That's the guy's last words there. So.
Nah, I appreciate you, brother. No, thank you, brother. Nah, this is good.
All right, so love your family. I'll listen to that one more time because I've got some observations on that particular thing too.
That's all you can do, because that's still free.
So, no, this is a great conversation, man.
I think he meant well by that statement, and I understand where he was coming from. But love your family. I can understand because that's still free. I don't understand because loving a fucking family is not free. It's probably one of the most fucking expensive investments you'll ever have in your life. But I honestly think, he was going in the right direction. It just might not have been. Well, maybe that's the words he chose. So that's the words. But just from an observation point, uh, family's not cheap, and it's definitely not free. Uh, So if you look at all the groups that you've written down, I started off this video talking about the universe, the galaxy, the solar system, the world, the continent, the country, the state, the county you live in, the town you live in, the company you work for, the trucker that you may be, and you as an individual. So when I talk about that, and we talk about all the groups of people, I'm trying to pull myself back up here. Uh, I can close that out and close that out, bring that up, maybe. There we go. And we talk about the groups of people, and the most controversial trucking video. It's a good title, and it sure brought in a lot of people, but I don't think it was very controversial. I think it was a bunch of the same old shit that's been being said for the fucking my entire career and even my father's career way back in the day. But it did talk a lot about groups, and that got me thinking that groups, for some reason, when they get together, they're always fighting amongst one another. So I got out of all the groups. I try to, I might still be in some groups, but I try to get out of all the groups, and that's in lies the problem. Is it's until we go from the universe all the way back to ourselves that we actually can start then. I can't fucking, my opinions are my fucking opinions. And that truck driver's his opinions, the interviewer, that's their opinion. And the thing is, the truth is that you're not going to get fucking people to work together. And nobody's going to agree. And if you watch the video and he talks about rules and following rules and how he's a intrepid rule follower, you can actually look at the video and see that he answered his own question, but we don't think that deep. We never look at things that deep. He answered the question in his own words in the video. And a lot of times, if you just sit and talk to yourself, you can figure out, hey, it's me. It's me. I'm the fucking problem. Because you can do anything you want. Like the guy who's doing the interview. And I'm hoping that this is that guy's channel and this is how he's making that income that could probably get him out of the trucking industry completely. I don't know if that's what's on Mother Trucker or not, who owns the channel or who the guy is. I don't care. All I did was, hey, the channel had an interesting video that I could talk about and I could actually practice speaking. And that's the primary reason why I'm here, is to practice speaking. But as an observer of this video, the main things that I could see is, like I said, the shit that's been going on for years, it hasn't changed. It's still the same. And I'm not sure. I mean, the controversial part is whenever I'm making an observation. I'm giving an honest opinion from something that wasn't regurgitated 100,000 times. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I heard is just shit that has been going on and on and on and on. And we wonder why the trucking industry hasn't changed. It's the people. The people are fucked up. Not you. Not you, of course. You wouldn't be, if you made it this far in the video, I'm not talking about you. But you can't go up to just any individual saying, hey, let's fix the trucking industry. You're fucked up. That ain't going to do it. What I'm saying is inside yourself, you got to figure something, you know? So the trucking industry's fucked up. How did I deal with it? Well, I got the fuck out. Enough people do it, and this is just the first part of the video. So I want to go back to the video and I'm going to start reading some comments that are on the video and get my observation on the comments. I'm going to try to see if I can see where they're coming from and give an observation. It's just simple dialogue. I cuss every once in a while. If you don't like that, fuck it, you should have stopped watching this a long time ago. But if you want to continue on, let's go back to the video here and we will show some comments. Or I want to see some of the comments. Remember what I said earlier? This right here video was the most controversial trucking video. I didn't really see too much controversy between two guys that agreed with each other. Agreeable. There wasn't no dialogue back and forth talking about how to solve the problem. It was just talking about their own personal experiences. And there's nothing wrong with that. Truck drivers do that on a regular basis in the break rooms of Flying J, TAs, Petros, Loves, truck stops all around the country, and it's going on right now. And there's some truck drivers that don't fucking agree with each other. I've seen knockout, drug out fights quite a few times. And a lot of the people just sit quiet and nothing ever happens. So, thoughts, do you agree or disagree? Well, I can tell by looking at the comments that all the disagreed comments were blocked from even being showed. So all these are agreed comments. Totally agree. Okay, well, that's a person right there that just watched the video. I don't even know if they watched the entire video. I guarantee that no one watched the video quite like I did. And no one, because, who the fuck does that besides some dumbass that's doing that like me? But I think the best year trucking was 2021 and Biden was president then. I don't think Biden is any better than any other president. You need to confront people with facts. That's what all news channels do. Well, uh, I'm going to say the best trucking. Uh, I mean, he thinks, so my best trucking year was way before that because I was already retired before 2021. You need to confront the facts. That's what all news channels do. Well, that's bullshit. All channels are like this YouTube channel. Like this YouTube channel, for instance, is blocking the negative comments from appearing. So, I mean, here's a guy that's wanting to get the facts, posting this on a YouTube channel that's monitoring and deleting all the negative comments. Uh, Maybe they don't want cussing, but I mean, they got 515,000 subscriber or 515,000 subscribers. Yeah. So, once you get a channel going on that big and you got all the advertisers and stuff like that, you don't want to say anything negative because you want the channel to make money. That's capitalism. In lies the fucking problem is you're trying to get the truth out there, trying to get something truly controversial out there. You can't give a fuck about what those advertisers are going to do on your channel or not. All right. So disagree for too many reasons to fit in two lines. Well, there's a negative comment. Uh, so there's someone who disagrees, and I'm gonna reply to this guy right here and say there's gonna be a rebuttal video. I will I will be posting video. Check out my channel. Check it out. Uh, on this, because what I want is I want people that disagree to actually come over here and watch. Just an observation. I mean, it was just my observation. Everybody has the right to their own opinions and shit like that, but I'm telling you what, it was only whenever I started realizing that fucking none of this shit really matters that I actually started being free, and I wasn't depressed anymore, and eventually it just led me completely out of it. So it's like once you start telling the truth, which it mentioned in the video up there that he wanted to tell the truth, and it's the truth, but a lot of the shit is he's blinded by the groups, the very groups, the Republicans, the Democrats, the world, the nation, China. He's got all these different groups, and that's where he's getting his information from, is different groups. He's not taking it from his head and actually making a uniform, concise decision that he came up with in his head. He's taking the advice of groups of people to tell him what to do. There was a group of people that actually told a guy that uh, lots of things. There's a lot of fucked up groups, and well, I would say that all groups are fucked up. Yep, country is dead. We're all being coned. I don't even know what the fuck that means. But it's a comment. Uh, well, until you said we should also be getting the free lunch, I was. There are zero free lunches in life. Nobody deserves anything for free. We all have to earn it, and adds up to the word respect. Oh shit, there it is. All right, God and families and our country, and it sounded like a good rebuttal, and then all of a sudden they mentioned groups. So you got one group fighting against the other group here. And respect for God, family, and country. And I knew there was one of those in here. I just hadn't seen it yet. And there it is. So I've been trucking since 1997, a total of 27 years. Hey, me and you started at the same time, bud. I'm at this point hanging up my keys forever. The trucking industry has gone to hell and getting worse. Well, hey man, I retired in 2019, and we started in the same damn year. So there's a lot of us older guys that have been out here for a while that are doing the same fucking thing. Uh, fuck it, is what we said. Love this guy. He's 100% correct. How do people get CDLs if you can't speak English? Page 1 of the handbook says must be able to speak, read, write, and comprehend instructions in English. Huh. That guy must be a rule follower too. Because, you know, love this guy. He's 100% correct. How do people get CDLs? That's a good question. That's a good question. Maybe people don't follow the rules. Maybe people go through different means. Maybe some people actually did pass the test to enter in the United States legally, where they actually know how to speak and read and, do the English language. Maybe English is their second language and they have a primary language that they use most of the time. That's how they get their CDLs. Shit like that. Shit like that you really got to think a little bit deeper than just that surface stuff. I've been driving for 34 years and definitely disagree. No matter who's in office, it'll always going to be ups and downs. Congress has more power than the president, but they are controlled by the lobbyists. Bam, right there. That guy just mentioned another group that I haven't mentioned yet, which was lobbyists. See, the groups control the trucking industry. And people believe what they believe because they be preached. They're being preached to by these groups. Worked oil field in 2012, 2015 changed my life forever. Thank you, North Dakota. Thank you, oil field. Uh, this guy right here uh, just wanted to talk about him being in the oil field and missed the entire concept of the entire video by itself, I think. Maybe. He's right about foreign drivers. Very aggressive and poor driving skills. I had to run off the road. Once tried to pass me up on the right and almost sideswiped me. Couldn't catch up with him. Well, if you've been out there for a while, that's going to happen to every fucking driver on the planet. And I don't know who the hell is behind the wheel of the other truck, but I'm not the only one who hates California government. Well, hate is such a strong word. Yeah, well, some people fucking hate it. All right, telling the truth now, controversial thing. Welcome to the new America. Telling the truth, this video wasn't controversial. Uh, it was just the same old shit being said for the fucking 10 billionth time. But welcome to America. Yeah, I'd say that's how fucking America might have been built. It's through controversy. It's the fault of the brokers as well. Oh, there's another group of people, the brokers. I could tell this guy is a good wheelman pilot, like demeanor. Then he says he has operated 20 years without an incident. Okay, I was right. He's good. Then the high odds of getting mixed up with a reckless invader gets him. Disgusting situation. I'd have to read that another time. What the fuck was he trying to say there? Okay, I could tell this guy is a good wheelman, pilot, like demeanor. Then he says he has operated 20 years without an incident. Okay, I was right. He's good. Then the high odds of getting mixed up with a reckless invader gets him disgusting situation. I wonder if he actually heard what I couldn't hear uh, in that video. I I read that comment and I don't even know what the fuck the guy's trying to say, but he's got some. It's definitely very much luck dependent right now. No matter how careful you are, can't prevent somebody from running into you. Too many accidents happening. That truck, that truck that dangled from the bridge. How'd that ever happen? Pretty sure he said 24, kind of. No, he said 2004 in the beginning. 2004, yeah. I'm Muslim among the Muslim community. We recognize Trump had 4 years of economy for truckers and didn't start any wars, unlike Obama and Biden. Well, nothing like, uh, nothing like a Muslim person talking about, uh, maybe there's some truth to that. Uh, but if you're in this country and you're talking about, you get caught up in these groups in this country, and uh, this is what changes the country, and this is also what causes a lot of the damn problems we got. But we don't want to all be one group, and then we'd all be fucked. Crabs in a bucket. Yep, that's a random comment. Check into all those illegal trucking companies in Chicago. Well, that country, when I read that, it's funny. I mean, it's funny to it's funny. And you guys have been sitting here watching me talk. Let me switch that over so you guys can actually see the comments that I'm reading here. What are some other ones? Well, let's get on in here. Democrats, retired August 2022, 34 years old. It was just too dangerous. Soon there will be a large number of foreign drivers really causing havoc. Okay, that's his opinion. No warning needed. We need more of this kind of content. No warning needed. I do think that there needs to be more of this type of content, and that's why I'm actually putting this out there. Mike GN4MH. I'm gonna put this. I want to put this video up. It might take fucking 2 days for it to upload on my computer, but it'll be there. BlackRock and Vanguard. Yes, he is on it. I just watched the entire video, and I don't really know what you mean by he's on it. Oh, BlackRock and Vanguard. Okay. Uh, that's the part of the video I didn't understand. I actually said that earlier, so I'm gonna have to look what the fuck BlackRock and Vanguard is. He's on it, but there is nope. There's no comments underneath that. Right now, bad trucking market because of too much capacity in the market. Well, maybe that is true. The trucking industry is dead. The trucking industry is definitely dictated by the freight and how much freight's coming in. Best year of trucking was 2008. So everybody's got their own opinion on what their best year of trucking is. I would say that, fuck, I didn't really have a best year. I could tell you what my worst year was, and that was 2006. Best interview ever. America's first. Hell yeah. Uh, no, it wasn't the best interview ever. uh, but it did open up my eyes and allow this video. And this, in my video, by far, is not the uh, best video ever. As a matter of fact, there's only going to be about 5 people that watch it, but maybe that's a lie too. I don't know. I got uh, touch of tism. I feel that statement. Now, I may be too old to know what the fuck tism means, but and maybe it's something that's right up underneath my nose. But I heard that in the video, and I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Does he mean a little autism or sort of ADHD? Because he was talking about being diligent, following the rules. Pretty sure he legit meant autism. Oh, okay. So I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about when he said tism, but if those two comments are correct, I like being. See, is uh this is good. This is good because fuck now, and when someone says a little bit of tism, I'll know what the fuck they're talking about. So not touchy subject. Pajabas have destroyed the trucking industry. Okay, well here's another guy that's coming out with that type of statement, and that's perfectly fine, but that's not what's doing it. Laredo, Texas. I mean, it's little statements like that that's like, okay, moving on. That's fucking stupid. Laredo, Texas here. Hey, Laredo, what's going on? I was down there in Nava Laredo, went across the border, had a good time with a few drivers back in 2002, something like that. Alex, that was a damn good interview. That driver said a lot of the same things that I feel. And like I said, that's a great statement right there because it's the same statement that I said. It's the same shit that's been repeated over and over and over. And it's being also repeated by the man that's speaking directly to the interviewer, Alex. That was the best damn interview I've ever said. It's the same things I feel, but who cares what you feel? It's what's being done. I mean, that guy feels the same way you feel, but nothing's being done. So it's a controversial. Thank you for your content. Real shit. Now, you could take that in two different ways. Thank you for your content. Real shit. Or thank you for your content. Real shit in the way is like, man, that's some real shit. Or is the commenter saying, thank you for your content. That was some shit. That was some real shit. I don't know. It can be taken both ways. I like that. Here's a guy, really simple. I agree. Okay, moving on. Nothing but the truth here. Forget your feelings. Yes, forget your fucking feelings. But it was mentioned many, many times during the interview, talking about feelings and how you feel you should follow the rules and shit like that. So nothing but truth here. Forget your feelings. Now I look at that comment again and I look at nothing but truth here. Forget your feelings. So is he trying to make a point as a commenter, or is he trying to say, hey, that part about the feelings that I'm talking about, you need to fucking forget your feelings. Your feelings can get hurt. I think that a lot of the negative comments are still being withheld from this. Wait till December when freight dries up again because shipping lanes aren't open. The cargo ships will and are slowing down. The cargo ships will and are slowing down. Woohoo! Yeah, good shit. Who cares? I'm a Native American. Uh, Apparently, Native American. He had to describe it with an acronym, and it's lucky that I know a few acronyms, and I get more shade and discrimination from blacks than anybody. Doesn't matter. California and Maryland. Well, I don't, and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, so I'm gonna move on from that. Not being, and that's because I'm one of those white honky motherfuckers that live out in Oklahoma. Not being sensitive means tolerating mistreatment. Uh, Not being sensitive means tolerating mistreatment. What the fuck? Not being an asshole means mistreatment? Not being sensitive means tolerating mistreatment. So if I'm not sensitive, I tolerate mistreatment. I don't. I think being sensitive, you are inviting mistreatment. So I think that if you're insensitive, you don't really give a fuck. Shouldn't be anything controversial about law and order. Yes, there should. It's, wake up, dude. I don't think you shouldn't, shouldn't be. So maybe he's saying there shouldn't be, but there is. So I'm trying to hold myself back here because the the interview wasn't controversial, but whenever we get down to, and I want you to observe me making my observations of the comments. It's me. It's me and the people that made the comments that are, so it's me and you. And getting two truck drivers to work together is probably one of the hardest things we could do. Uh, he's right. Good interview. No, the, damn. I don't see how the fuck, I mean, is the most controversial interview in the world, which I don't consider to be controversial. He's right. Good interview. Uh, no, no, he's not. And people have such a hard time saying no, and people don't like to hear the word no. 10 grand. What a week. Woo, 10 grand. I agree the economy is in free fall right now. So these people are agreeing, and I don't know where they get their information from, but I could tell that it's not original thoughts that come from their head. It comes from, and they're not thinking. A lot of the people in here aren't thinking. They're seeing the surface, and it's easy to agree on the surface, but you've got to drive down that road, turn this video off, and you know, you probably turned it off. I've probably lost about 90% of the people by the time we reach this point. But this isn't a video for you to watch, and actually, this is a video that is for you to listen to while you're driving for a long period. If you're on that 250-mile uh, run and just got fuel, this is that type of video. It isn't the type of video that you're going to sit and watch. I mean, who the hell wants to sit here and look at comments? But you can. Fuck, I'm sitting here trying to make it sound like, oh, if you fucking watch me, you're gonna be a better. No, I'm not saying that, but maybe that's the way that fucking came off. And fuck, you see, that's the type of shit when you talk to yourself, you start realizing that, hey, I'm saying something fucking stupid. He's not lying. Uh, yeah, I'm sure he lies, man. Uh, I'm not quite that vague in looking at an individual person and saying that they do or don't lie. I mean, I started my career lying, so you know, I haven't met anyone that is fucking true. California, trained for the alphabet company. They would try to make me train a guy who could not speak English. Would talk to the trainee over the phone, and he was so bad I had to ask if they could speak English. You cannot train a guy you cannot communicate with. Hey, that's a good statement. I would agree with that. I would say out of everything that I've read on this so far, that is the truest statement. As a teacher, I can't teach a guy that doesn't know the English language. And if I was going to a school in Mexico, for instance, and I had no idea how to speak Espanol or Spanish, then they're going to have a hell of a time training me down there too. But yeah, it's hard to speak with a guy you can't communicate with. The cool thing about YouTube is that uh, you can put those text on there where you can translate stuff a lot now, which makes it a little better. So technology's come up a little bit there, but I guarantee you the truck driving school that you went to didn't have any translating machines. I'm really fucking drifting off subject there. I can't complain too much because I'm still here. Well, still here as in the trucking industry, or just still here as your heart is still beating like mine? I'm at Saya. Hey, Saya, I used to work there, and things are going great. OTR is a whole different animal, though. And you were right, because I've worked in both industries. That's another true statement. Sai has some assholes that work there, and you know, I was laid off from Saya, but there was some other reasons. I mean, it wasn't that Sai was a bad company. They do have some asshole people there that I didn't get along with, like most truck drivers. But yeah, if you go back to 2012, my daughter won the award for the calendar thing that they do every year, and my daughter won that award for 2012 calendar. So I did used to work there, and the actual terminal manager was awesome, but there was a guy that worked underneath him that was an asshole, and he's still there. Last I heard, but you know, now that's controversial, but that's the truth. And I ain't fucking taking that back. I mean, you know, I didn't get along with the guy. He didn't get along with me. I wound up getting laid off. That's because I didn't show up. You know, I started getting late because I started not liking this motherfucker, and I got laid off. And, you know, hell, I went back and actually, you know, I mentioned a little bit earlier that I was a ninth grade dropout. Because of that, I went and got my damn GED and started speaking and started teaching and all this other shit that happened. And fuck, it's led up to this. All true Americans feel the same way. Well, all true Americans don't feel that way. All true Americans, you know, that's the thing. People think that their beliefs is everybody else's beliefs. And I'm going to end this video with, you know, if you want to change the world, you better learn to change yourself. Because if you're being dictated by all these groups, you need to think outside of the box. You need to think you. But we're not going to do that. And people aren't going to listen to me because that's my opinion. So this is all just a big fucking waste of time. And I'd like to tell every truck driver out there, I want you to have a good day. And for that opposite group of truck drivers out there who I know are still out there, I would like to say, fuck you. Good day. Later. You feel all blown up? What is going on? My name is Mike